What happens when someone steps in front of the cameras and suddenly finds their dating life, personality, friendships, and most vulnerable moments becoming part of a reality television series? For Sammy Replogle, Little Singles offers viewers a closer look at dating, relationships, confidence, friendship, and the complicated emotions that can develop when a group of people are placed in an environment where every interaction can become part of the story. Sammy has quickly become one of the personalities viewers are paying attention to, not simply because of the drama surrounding him, but because of the way he approaches dating and relationships. His experiences raise bigger questions about what it is really like to look for love while navigating expectations, misunderstandings, attraction, jealousy, and the pressure of being filmed. In this video, we're taking a closer look at Sammy Replogle, what he has shared about the new reality series, how his personality comes across on screen, and why his perspective has become an interesting part of the Little Singles conversation. Begin by introducing Sammy and his place within the Little Singles cast. Discuss how reality television often gives audiences only a limited window into someone's personality. A person may appear confident, funny, emotional, guarded, or outspoken on screen, while there may be much more happening away from the cameras. Explore Sammy's personality and how viewers have responded to him throughout the series. This section can also establish Sammy as more than just a participant in relationship drama. His experiences can help illustrate some of the broader themes of the show, particularly dating expectations and the desire to find someone who genuinely understands you. Move into Sammy's thoughts and experiences surrounding Little Singles. Discuss what makes the series different from a conventional dating show. Rather than simply focusing on whether two people end up together, the series allows viewers to see friendships, disagreements, attraction, awkward conversations, and emotional reactions develop in real time. Talk about the unusual experience of having personal interactions captured by cameras. Dating can already be complicated, but knowing that millions of people may eventually watch those conversations can create another layer of pressure. The key question here is, did Sammy feel that the show allowed viewers to see the real person behind the reality TV personality? Explore Sammy's experiences with dating and attraction. Discuss how first impressions can influence relationships and how quickly assumptions can form when people meet one another in a reality TV environment. Sammy's story can also open a larger discussion about what people actually look for in a partner. Is physical attraction enough? Does personality become more important after spending time together? And how much does emotional compatibility matter when the initial excitement begins to fade? Use this section to examine the difference between being attracted to someone and genuinely connecting with them. Dating privately and dating on television are two very different experiences. Discuss how cameras can intensify emotions. A conversation that might normally remain between two people can suddenly become something that friends, cast members, and viewers analyze. For Sammy, this creates an interesting challenge. Every decision can be interpreted by someone else. Explore whether reality television makes it harder for cast members to be themselves, especially when relationships become complicated. A person may hesitate before expressing their feelings because they know the consequences could become part of a larger storyline. Shift the discussion toward Sammy's relationships and the emotional situations surrounding him. Talk about how relationships on Little Singles can become complicated when multiple people have feelings for one another. Jealousy, uncertainty, mixed signals, and misunderstandings can quickly turn a simple romantic connection into something much more complicated. This is also an opportunity to distinguish between what viewers actually see and what they may assume. Reality television is edited for storytelling, so viewers should be careful about treating every moment as proof of someone's intentions or private feelings. Take a step away from the relationship drama and focus on Sammy as an individual. Discuss his humor, confidence, communication style, and the moments that allow audiences to see another side of him. One of the most interesting aspects of reality television is watching people reveal themselves gradually. A cast member who initially seems one way can look completely different after viewers see more conversations and experiences. Ask whether Sammy's appearance on Little Singles has changed the way viewers understand him. Explain why Sammy is an important part of the overall cast dynamic. Every reality series needs personalities who bring different perspectives, and Sammy's experiences contribute to the show's larger conversation about dating and relationships. Discuss how his interactions with other cast members create opportunities for both serious conversations and entertaining moments. Rather than focusing only on who Sammy ends up with, examine what his journey says about modern dating. The importance of communication, recognizing boundaries, dealing with rejection, and understanding what you really want from another person. Bring the discussion beyond the television series. Sammy's experience can remind viewers that dating is rarely straightforward. People can have different expectations, communicate differently, and interpret the same situation in completely different ways. Discuss the importance of looking beyond appearances and avoiding assumptions about someone's personality, based solely on what happens during a few edited television moments. This section should emphasize that Little Singles can be entertaining, while also creating opportunities for viewers to think differently about relationships, attraction, confidence, and representation. Look ahead at what the future could hold for Sammy after the series. Will his time on Little Singles change how audiences see him? Could viewers get to know more about his personality and relationships outside the show's immediate drama? Discuss the possibility that reality television could open new opportunities for Sammy, whether through future appearances, interviews, social media, or continued involvement with the franchise. Keep the discussion grounded in what is publicly known, rather than presenting speculation as fact. Sammy Replogle's journey on Little Singles is about more than dating drama. His story gives viewers an opportunity to look at relationships, attraction, confidence, communication, and the complicated reality of searching for a meaningful connection while cameras are watching. Whether viewers agree with his decisions or question some of his choices, Sammy has certainly become a personality worth watching as the series continues to unfold. And perhaps the biggest question is not simply who Sammy ends up with, but what he learns about himself along the way. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. As Little Singles continues to unfold, Sammy Replogle's journey becomes increasingly interesting because his story is not defined by a single relationship or one dramatic moment. Instead, viewers are watching someone navigate a complicated environment where dating, friendship, attraction, and personal growth are happening at the same time. One of the biggest challenges for Sammy is figuring out what he genuinely wants while surrounded by other people who are also searching for connection. In an environment like this, emotions can change quickly. Someone who seems like the perfect match at one moment may suddenly feel completely different after another conversation or interaction. That is what makes Sammy's journey worth following. His experience reflects something familiar about modern dating. Sometimes the hardest part is not meeting someone, but understanding whether the connection is actually strong enough to continue. There is also the question of communication. When feelings become complicated, being honest can be difficult. People may worry about hurting someone, creating conflict, or being misunderstood. On reality television, that pressure can become even greater because private conversations can eventually become part of a public storyline. For Sammy, learning how to communicate clearly may be just as important as finding romantic chemistry. A meaningful relationship requires more than attraction. It requires trust, respect, honesty, patience, and the ability to understand another person's perspective. His time on Little Singles also gives viewers a chance to see how people respond to uncertainty. Dating does not always provide immediate answers. Sometimes there are mixed signals. Sometimes feelings are not mutual. Sometimes two people connect but discover that they want completely different things. Those situations can be uncomfortable, but they can also become valuable learning experiences. And this is where Sammy's story becomes bigger than reality TV drama. His journey represents the emotional uncertainty that comes with putting yourself out there and hoping another person will understand you. Viewers may continue to debate Sammy's choices, his relationships, and the decisions he makes throughout the series. But ultimately, the most interesting part of his story may be watching how those experiences shape him. Because when the cameras eventually stop rolling, Sammy still has to take everything he experienced and decide what comes next. The relationships may change, the friendships may evolve, the public perception may shift, but the lessons about communication, confidence, attraction, rejection, and vulnerability can remain long after the season ends. And perhaps that is the real journey viewers are watching. Not simply whether Sammy finds love, but whether he comes away from Little Singles with a clearer understanding of himself and what he truly wants from a relationship. As the story continues, that may become one of the most compelling questions surrounding Sammy Replogle. Conclusion. Sammy Replogle's journey on Little Singles ultimately shows that reality television is about much more than romance and drama. Behind every date, conversation, disagreement, awkward moment, and emotional reaction is a person trying to understand what they want and where they fit within a complicated social environment. For Sammy, being part of the series has placed his dating life and personality in front of an audience that naturally wants answers. Viewers want to know who he connects with, how his relationships develop, and what happens when emotions become complicated. But the bigger story may be what these experiences reveal about Sammy himself. His journey highlights the reality of modern dating. Attraction can bring people together, but communication, trust, compatibility, and understanding are what can ultimately determine whether a connection has the potential to last. At the same time, Little Singles reminds viewers that what appears on screen is only part of someone's story. Reality television is shaped by filming, editing, context, and storytelling. A single conversation may not explain an entire relationship, and one emotional reaction does not necessarily define a person's character. That is why Sammy's story is worth looking at beyond the drama. Whether viewers support his decisions, question them, or simply remain curious about what happens next, his experience gives audiences an opportunity to think about dating, confidence, vulnerability, rejection, friendship, and the challenge of finding genuine connection. As the series moves forward, the biggest question may not simply be whether Sammy finds the person he is looking for. It may be whether his experience on Little Singles helps him better understand himself, his expectations, and the kind of relationship he truly wants. Because when the cameras stop, the conversations end, and the episodes are finished, Sammy still has a life beyond the show. And that may be the most important part of his story. So, what do you think about Sammy Replogle's journey on Little Singles? Has the series given viewers a genuine look at his personality? Or do you think there is still much more to discover about him beyond what we see on screen? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.